Hey guys, it's Cody with Taking 20 and welcome back to my Roll20 Master Series. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to create your very own in-game generators using the techniques that I've shown you in the last two videos we've done. So I hope you're ready. Let's get started. Okay, so I know I've teased this a few times with you guys, but let me go over exactly what the generators are, and then I will walk you guys through how to actually set them up step by step. So down here, I've shown you guys this a few times, just to kind of recap for those of you that this may be their first video. Here's kind of what these generators do. I'm currently playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e, although this technique will work with whatever system you guys are playing, so you can definitely use this with whatever. This isn't just 5e only. And I've taken some of the rollable tables out of the DMG, actually most of the rollable tables, and I've built them into my game. So if I go down here, I can go over here to, these are a couple of new ones I've just put together. This is for Chapter 6 for Treasure. And so when I click on this, it generates this table. And every time I click on this table, so say my party they've just killed something and they're like, okay, I loot the body. Okay, great. So I can go over here and go, okay, some 50 GP worth gemstones. There you go. It'll generate it for me. Or maybe they need some 25 GP art objects. Maybe it's individual treasure. I can see exactly what it is. It's 5d6 average of 17 copper. And I can even generate hordes, and these tables get really long here. So the treasure hoard for a challenge of 11 to 16 would be a whole bunch of stuff, almost 14,000 on average gold with 1750 platinum pieces. You got some art, some gems, you got 1d4 magic items on magic item table D. No problem, I've created that as well. So I can go over here to the magic items, go over here to magic item table D, roll that, and there's a spell scroll, 6th level. And let's see, potion of speed and ammunition +3 and Nolzur's. Gosh, I probably should know that. Nolzur's marvelous pigments. So I can. These are some magic item generators straight from the Dungeon Master's Guide built into my game here. If I need to come up with a sentient item, I can figure out how it communicates with people. Okay, it can speak and read, no problem. Let's see what if it's the sentient items alignment is neutral. And then let's see, what's the last thing here? It has a purpose. What's the purpose of the sentient item here? It's a protector. The item seeks to defend a particular race or kind of creature, such as elves or druids. So these generators are really, really cool. They're really powerful. I like these in the game instead of trying to flip through a book because A, they're faster, and every time I tell you guys a new technique, I always tell you it's about speed. It's about keeping your players engaged. You know, if you have to stop too many times and too often, they can wander, and that's because, that's human nature. So you don't blame them, but if you can minimize that and keep them hooked into your game because you can keep the storytelling going, that's always a plus in my book. I also like them being in the game because I'll use them more often. I can't tell you, especially when I'm preparing a session for the next week's game, it's really easy for me while I'm putting everything in to look at these tables and see is there something that I can use. So having them in front of me instead of spread throughout a 300 and some odd page Dungeon Master Guide just helps me kind of use the tools that are available to me. So that's why I really like this stuff. Let me show you one more, and then I will walk over the tables, show you the tables, and how to generate this. So these are random tables, but you can actually put these tables together. So if you go over here to environments, I can click on this Tavern Name Generator. Now here's what's cool about this. This is actually two tables put into one to generate these names. So it basically has a first name section and a second name section. So the first names, and again, this is right out of the Dungeon Master's Guide for 5e. If you're playing another system, you can create your own. You can use out of whatever books you guys are using, or you can even steal some from an online resource site. So this is two tables put into one. So it's rolling this first section here, and then it's rolling this second section. Now let me show you how these tables are set up. I'm going to go over here to Decks and Tables. I'm going to scroll down until I find, right here, TavernNameFirst and TavernNameLast. So I have two individual separate tables here. On the first table, you can see these all have the adjective form, the silver, the golden, the staggering, the laughing, etc. And over here are the noun portions. So eel, dolphin, dwarf, pegasus, pony, rose. You know, in the 5e Dungeon Master's Guide had some cool ones. They're definitely bland. So, you know, if you want to go in here and add a few more to, you know, over here you can say the bloody, and, you know, this side you might be the anvil. You can try to kind of mix it up a little bit. That would be my suggestion. These are a little bland, but it definitely works for me for what I'm doing, especially because I was just trying to get all the tables in the game, and then I'm going to go back and kind of tweak them once I've got them all in. That's just for my personal use. So these are two tables rolling on one button. Okay, so how do we set this up? Now right here, I'm going to give you guys a very quick disclaimer. I have set this up kind of the long way. What I'm going to show you is the shorter way to do it. In my opinion, the better way. I set all of these up to call on a little character that I've built in the extra macros for. All this was an organization thing, and it was a lot of extra work that honestly, after having done it, I would probably not recommend you guys doing it. I'm going to show you guys the cleaner, easier, quicker way to do this instead of doing it the long way. But if you're wondering why what I'm telling you doesn't look exactly like what I have, it's in short because I put too much work. After evaluating it, I wouldn't recommend doing what I did. I figured out a better way to do it. So, with that out of the way, let me show you down here on this Chapter 5 section how I have this Tavern Name Generator. Now, again, disclaimer, you will not use this off of a character sheet. You will not use this off of a character sheet. You will build this macro or I would advise you to build this macro in just over here if you're going to do this, okay? Don't build it into a character sheet. Got it. So, right here is, so if we're looking at this thing, okay, it whispers. This part's all the template information. Okay, that's all the template stuff that we've been talking about templates for the last 3 or 4 videos. You guys should be getting more comfortable now with how to use these templates. So, and then right here is an inline roll for this table. Okay, so if I just went over here to the Tavern Name First and rolled it, it's not going to look really neat. It's going to just roll not whispered and all that jazz. So if you take this right here, and you put that in an inline roll in your macro, with like a double bracket, just like you would do double bracket, D20, close double bracket. It rolls it much nice and cleaner, and that's basically how it's presenting this information. So I have inline roll for the first table's name generator, and then it followed immediately after that is the second inline roll for the second table. So, very, very, very simple on how we're putting these things completely all together. Now, let's recap what we've done so far. We've created a table for the first name. We've created a table for the second name. You guys know how to do that by now. We have taken inline rolls for those, and we've put them inside of a macro with a nice, pretty template. So that if I rolled this, it would roll just like that. Okay, that's all this is doing. So it's executing this macro and rolling this generator, these tables. Now, for you guys, you would stop there. Because again, disclaimer, you are not going to do it off of a character sheet like I have done it. Instead, you're going to build it in over here with your macros. Once you've done that, all you're going to do is take your macro, drag it down here to the bottom, and rename it. If you want to stack it inside of a macro, like what I've done down here, and build it into a total table, we can do that. So, let's take a look at these macros. This is, I'm gonna show you, because I've done these on another sheet because of the way that they save. So I'm gonna drag this over here, and you guys should be able to see this now. Okay. So this is all we're doing is the exact same techniques here. Once we have that macro, we're doing the exact same techniques you guys learned when we learned in the stacking macros. The only difference is the macro we're calling on has a inline rollable table built in. Okay, so you guys are with me. We're putting together a macro for the inline table. We're using that with the stacking macros, and we're creating all of this, putting all the techniques that I've been teaching you guys, and we're putting them into one clean, crisp box to do something really cool. So, on these, Whisper GM, the next section here, that's just the template. Again, we've all been learning how to use these templates now. And then, following that, we're going to call on that macro, FormsofGovernment, followed by how we do those call on the actual macros. So let's look at this FormsofGovernment one here to reiterate here. If I go up to the very top, I should be able to find a table that says Forms of Government. Okay, so that was my table for Forms of Government. I've done that. Now I need to create something to call that. That's what this is here. Okay, again, y'all will just be doing that over here. Now, once I've created a macro here, this is the wrapper macro, if you guys remember that. Now, a lot of you guys had some confusion when I talked about the stacking macros, that you can't just set up a macro, you got to have another macro for it to call. So, on my world building macro, and I'm not going to click on it. Well, let me show you what it is. See how it looks all weird because these are break lines? It actually has that percentage in there. Let me cancel. This is the macro I pasted in. Okay. Right there. So you can see it actually changed it. It has to do with HTML. The short version is build it on a separate sheet like, Google Documents or something like that. And then take all this and paste it in. So we built a table. We built a macro to roll that table in a nice, pretty template. That was step 2. Step 3 is we built a wrapper macro, which is what we're looking at here, to wrap it up along with several other macros that you guys can see here. So I have Forms of Government, World Shaking Events, Leader Types, Cataclysmic Disasters. And you can see that when I go over here to my world building, and that's all this little button is right here. I just drug that onto my bar, and I renamed it. So when I click world building, this is a wrapper macro, and I've wrapped up my Forms of Government macro. Blah, blah, blah. Say that 10 times fast. Forms of Government macro, my World Shaking Events macro, Leader Types, Cataclysmic Disasters. I've wrapped all of those macros up into one nice, pretty clean box, so that when I want to go ahead and use my rollable table, I can just press that button and get a few different types of forms of government. Invading forces, a secret society, fantastic. That's already, that's incredibly inspirational. Makes me want to write right now. Discoveries, a new people, lost civilization or colony or race or tribe, a resource, gold or gems or mithril. So I can do that like that. So, wow. That was kind of a complex video for this series. So I hope you guys followed along. This one, I imagine I'm going to have a few questions to answer in the description below. I will do my best to recover that. I tried to go slow and kind of repeat myself on this because this is a lot. So don't feel bad if you're struggling to kind of grasp all this instantaneously. You'll probably want to watch this video a few times because I know when I was trying to learn these techniques, it definitely took me a while to kind of get them down and master them. But everything said and done, it is absolutely worth it, in my opinion. I have tables and tables and tables right here at my fingertips to use in-game to keep me focused on the game. So, that's it for this video. It's okay if you have questions. Again, contact me below, reach out to me on Twitter. I'll be happy to help and answer any questions that I have. Please follow me on Twitter. It's at TakingD20 on Twitter. And also you can check out the Twitch channel. I'll be doing some live stream games over the next few weeks for some brand new players. So be sure to check that out if you guys are, interested in that maybe. Facebook, Google+, all that stuff is down below in the description, along with all the rest of these formulas and macros. Again, I'm going to put them down so you guys can kind of see them all together at once. But that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I'll catch you guys next time. 1, 2, 3. You gotta say it.
Thanks for watching and subscribe.
Okay, buddy. All right, kiddo. I love you.